In today's devotional, I want to talk about some controversial topic, and that is going to be politics and the Apostle Paul. I trust this is going to bless you and give you a lot of peace when it comes to politics and the future of the world. This might, depending on where your view is, be discouraging, but I want to encourage you as we look at the finished work of Jesus Christ. You're going to see the only answer, as what Paul saw when he was walking the earth. The only answer to the problems of the world, and that would be Jesus Christ. Now I would like for us to read the scripture from 1 Corinthians 1 verse 20. It says, "Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the lawyer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For since in the wisdom of God the world by wisdom did not know God, it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save those who believe. For the Jews seek a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, to the Greeks foolishness. But to them that are called out ones, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God." Now that just sounds like spiritual rubbish that cannot really help anybody. But that's not what Paul said. That was also not Paul's experience. We need to understand that the Apostle Paul saw Jesus Christ. He saw the resurrected Jesus. Then he experienced how that saved him. That salvation that Paul had in mind wasn't a salvation that was about where you go when you die. When Paul talks about salvation here, those who are being saved, he's not talking about where people go when they die. He's really talking about people being saved from what is truly a problem in the world. He himself was a problem in the world. What was he doing? He was picking up the sword and he was going, taking people, taking families and their children, oppressing them. Religious oppression was taking place. And how was religious oppression stopped in the life of Paul? Isn't that a political issue? Isn't it an issue that people have to deal with every day of their life? It is. It's a serious problem. We find people that want to force down their way of doing, be it political, be it whatever, with a sword on other people. Paul wanted to go and destroy the Christians. And what happened? He then saw the resurrected Jesus Christ. He wasn't convinced of another religion. He saw the truth. What is real? What conforms to reality? And that is that Jesus was truly raised from the dead. He beheld this man. He found the truth of the word, which was the Jewish scriptures, conformed to what was really standing in front of him, which was the resurrected Jesus Christ. Right there, he met with Jesus. The power of that resurrection changed his life completely, and he went from somebody who forces down his religion on other people and want to kill them to someone who's willing to give his life to simply tell the truth to people. He didn't go around with a sword anymore. He wasn't forcing down anything on anybody anymore. He became a humble, kind person who would truly just want other people to have truth and have also an experience of salvation from fear, an experience of salvation from the political problem that those people might be in the world. If we define politics as how we live as a society, don't you think a life born from Jesus Christ is the highest form of living your politic? The highest form of politics? The highest form of politics is this: Jesus was raised from the dead, you believe it, and you have a life born from it. That is the highest form. You that listen to this might say, this is foolishness. But Paul says, those who think this is foolishness, those are the people that are not experiencing salvation. They don't know what it is. We need to understand that Paul didn't think of Christianity as a solution for one day when you die. He saw Christianity as the solution for the problems of the world. But the way he saw it being implemented is not by trying to, as a Christian politician, tell the world what they must do. His solution was that every individual must hear the message. And as they hear the message and have a life that is born from this message, that person would then experience salvation. That is what it would be all about. So Paul went about preaching the gospel. And then he saw, like in Corinth, the worshippers of Bacchus, the god of disorder and alcohol, which was worshipped in orgies, ran by people that were worshipping this god of disorder, which there was amongst them was a lot of women that when they did the worship made animal noises and were completely crazy. These people, and there were a lot of people worshipping like that, they changed to people that don't do that anymore, people that are not a problem to Rome anymore, because these people, the worshippers of Bacchus, they were a problem to the people in Rome. They were really a problem. They even started to bring laws in against their practices and so on, against their orgies, because things were just going too wild. But here was a political solution through the preaching of the gospel. People just truly got saved. Jesus saved them. And as they got saved, the very attributes of the resurrected Jesus started to take place and shape and form their lives. How can more people that look like Jesus not be a solution to the problems of the world? It is the solution. It's the only solution. I think we as Christians, and in this devotional, I want for you to think a little bit about the practicality of belief in Jesus and what it brings forth. Paul says here, and he mocks the wise people, the Greeks. He says, listen, when God brought the true answer, which was Jesus, you couldn't even see it. You didn't even know him. Says, you murdered him. The Romans murdered him. The Jewish people, by their legalism and law system, could not even recognize the only true answer, which was Jesus, and crucified him. But God raised him from the dead. And now, as he's raised from the dead, God has chosen, through the foolishness, not of the wisdom of the philosophers of this world and the people that have studied democracy and all the political systems to its core, but through the foolishness of saying there was a man raised from the dead, through that foolishness to save people. And what he means by that is not to sign them up for a salvation one day that they can go to heaven when they die. What he's talking about is to save them from the destructive patterns of this world and to bring order into this world. So I want to say to you, church, I want to encourage you today in this devotional where we're devoting a little bit of time to thinking about the effects of the resurrection Christianity in this world. We as Christians so many times feel, well, we cannot even talk about Jesus and what he's done because that is now infringing on somebody's religious freedom and all those kind of things. Church, that is the answer. There is no other answer. There's no other answer. The only answer is Jesus Christ, belief in Jesus Christ, and having a life born from him. If the president believed that, do you know, it's not going to save the nation. If the president believes it, it's only going to save the president. If he then makes a new law, those who are under him, they will look at that law, and if they don't have a heart that's regenerated from the power of the resurrection, they will just right there mess it up again. So the only answer is for people to believe upon Jesus and truly be saved. So what we do, we believe this message, and as this message brings life to us, we love on those around us, we love on our family, we love on our children with a life born from this, and the little bit that God is doing in each one of us, that is it. We just don't lose hope. We don't think, well, when we talk about or think about what God has done for us, we the foolish ones. No, we're not the foolish ones. We're walking in the wisdom of God. I also think that it would be important for Christians to truly understand the gospel and what it means. But that is a topic for another day. I want to encourage you, what you are in as a Christian is life-giving. It has changed you. It has brought life for you, and so will it bring life for everyone that believes upon it. And this Christian life, a life of victory by the power of Jesus, not our own works, is where the whole world is going to end up in anyway, since Jesus Christ is the Lord of heaven and earth. We believe it, we partake in it, we share it, and that's how people also partake in this absolute salvation that God has brought us. Thank you that I could serve you with this message. God bless.